So when you're struggling with sin, here's some tips. Number one, when shaitan comes to you and tells you to do something wrong, number one, what should you say? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Right? First thing you say is A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. And you seek help from your brothers and sisters. Let's say you can't get up for Fajr. Call 10 different people from your friends and tell them all to give you a wake-up call at 6:30 a.m. Wake up for Fajr. Get help. And lastly, recognize who it is you're sinning against. You know, Hasan al-Basri, he said that, don't look at the smallness of the bad deed you do. لا تنظر إلى صغر المعصية ولكن انظر إلى عظمة من عصيت. Rather look at the greatness of the one who you sinned against. Husayn ibn Ali, radiallahu anhu, a man came to him and he said, I can't stop sinning. Right? I always sin. I just can't stop. So Husayn ibn Ali tells him, like, this is the best fatwa for you guys, right? Pay attention. If you guys want to do bad deeds, I mean, hopefully you don't. But if you want to, how many of you guys want to do bad deeds? Don't worry. Just checking if you guys are right. If you want to do bad deeds, I'm going to give you the fatwa to do bad deeds. Right here, on the spot, and it's from Husayn ibn Ali. Alright, number one, if you want to do bad deeds, you have to meet these 5 criteria, then you can go ahead and do it. He said number one, he says that go ahead and do bad deeds, but don't use the energy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you through the food He's provided for you to do the bad deeds. And the man's like, shoot, man. Every time I eat from Allah? Alright, give me number two, give me number 2. So he says, alright, you're living on the land of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at least if you're going to sin against Allah, don't do on His land. Alright, go somewhere else. So he's like, alright, I can't do that. Number 3. Number 3, okay fine, you can't do number 1 and 2. Number 3. Door number 3 is, alright, at least if you're going to sin, do it where Allah is not going to see you. Right? Go hide underneath the table. Does Allah still see you? Yeah. So he's like, alright, that doesn't work. Number 4. He says, when the angel of death comes to you, tell him I'm not ready yet. Like Musa alayhi salam, right? Like Musa alayhi salam gave the angel of death a punch in the face and he went back to Allah SWTA and said, your servant's not ready to die. Can he do that? I mean, the angel of death's going to jack you. Unless you are a good believer. And number 5, he says, I can't do that. So number 5, he tells him, when you're thrown in hell, try and get out of it. And the man's like, enough. By Allah, Allah will never see me commit a sin after today. Right, so realize who it is you're sinning against. Allah has given you everything. Right, there's a guy in New York, about a month ago, this hit the papers, month and a half or so. This guy in New York, his wife had kidney failure. Right? And so kidneys are like the really, really important organs in your body. Right? It's like heart, liver, and like kidneys. Like without kidneys, you're going to die. Right? So his wife has kidney failure, and so she needs a kidney transplant or she's going to die. And so, lo and behold, her husband has the kidney type that could be given to her and she can survive. So he says, he's being a good husband. He's like, okay, I'll do the surgery, I'll give you one of my kidneys. So he does the surgery, he gives her his kidney. A year later, his wife cheats on him. She goes and has an affair with somebody. And so the husband finds out. And he is livid. He's like, I gave you a piece of me, man. I gave you my kidney. Like I mean, you took a piece of my organ in your body and because of that, you're now living. And you go and cheat on me? He was so upset, he filed a lawsuit. He said, I want my kidney back. So the court's like, what do? I mean, if we give his kidney back, then what? He's going to die. So he's like, all right, fine. Just give me $1.5 million and I'll be good. So imagine how that guy felt, right? He gave her his own kidney, and she goes and does this. Now think about this. How then should you feel when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you your kidneys, has given you your eyesight, has given you your skin, has given you your health, has given you your brain, has given you your spinal cord, has given you your bones, has given you your limbs, has given you your family, has given you your wealth, has given you your car, has given you your cell phone, has given you your glasses, has given you until the end. And you use those same blessings Allah has given you to sin and transgress against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How should you feel? Think about that. Right? Allah says in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. If you try and count what does that verse mean? The bounties, the blessings of Allah, you can't count it. But what does the verse say? Does it say, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعَمَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا? It says ni'mah. What is the difference? Arabic people. Ni'am and ni'mah. Exactly. Ni'am is plural, ni'mah is single. What does the verse say? وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. Even if you try to count one blessing of Allah, you can't do it. Right? The blessing of having eyesight, for example. Think of how many things could go wrong in your life had you not had eyesight. You can't even count one blessing of Allah SWTA. And I'll end, I was going to break this speech into two actually. I'll end the first part with example of a friend of mine. Zuhair Munshi rahimahullah. He was a friend of mine, he died when he was about 20 years old. He was born with muscular dystrophy. Right? So he's a young man. Now muscular dystrophy is a disease where one of the genes that codes the connection between muscles and tissue is not there anymore. So basically, as your body and bones develop, your muscles don't develop. So when we were young, Amir was with me, the guys, we would play with Zuhair, we would run around with him. He was able to, hang sort of. As we got older, his body grew, but his muscles didn't grow. So he couldn't keep up with us. Towards the later part of his life, he was wheelchair ridden. So he would only come out of his house on Friday to Jummah, and he would see the guys. And then he would go back. And it got worse. It got worse to the point that he could only sit in two positions, lying down or sitting up. And his brother would have to help him sit up. He couldn't eat. He had a tube in his stomach to feed him. He couldn't use the bathroom by himself. He couldn't change by himself. He couldn't do anything. He had a neck brace to support his neck. And he couldn't even he could barely move by himself. So somebody who's been tested by Allah, so a lot of the blessings we have, like strength and ability to move and get a job and go to school, all those are blessings. He didn't have those. Yet look at his spirit. He would, every day that he was able to, he would go online and make da'wah online, on forums online. He took classes from the Hadith Institute based out of Texas, the Islamic classes, and people said about him he was the most dedicated student. Studying Islam even though he has every excuse to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right, one of the nurses that would come home and take care of him in the hospice, one of them took shahada on his hands. Da'wah all the time. He even made a book, and I encourage you to buy it. Go online and search the blunders, adventures of Nasiha Man. He wrote a comic book, and it's published. More than what we did, and he doesn't even have the help. You know when he died? The brothers who watched him, Amir watched him, another brother, they said about him that you know when you play Mafia? You guys played Mafia before?
Yeah.
You know when you wake up, after you kill somebody, you wake up at night and the guy's dead and he sees you, and you just give him that smile? You're like, yeah, I know something that you didn't know, right? He said that Zuhair had that kind of smile when he was washing his body, on his face. And you know what Zuhair's wish was? Imagine you're this person. You know what his wish was? He would always tell people to make dua for him for. That Allah give me back my strength, Allah let me get married, Allah let me have an education, Allah let me go to school. What do you think it was? Let me have kids. His one dua always, and he told everybody this. Right? When I went to Hajj, he told me, Farhan, make this dua for me. He says, just when I die, just ask Allah to accept me as a shaheed. That's all I want. And we ask Allah to accept him as a shaheed. Allahumma ameen. But how does that make us feel? Right? I mean, Allah's given us so much more than that. So shouldn't we try and do more than what He did? Shouldn't we try more than what He did? Right? So it comes back to struggle and trying. Come back to struggle and trying. I began by saying that you are going to sin. That is right. But you have to make repentance from that sin. Don't let that sin stop you from... It's like a handbrake, right? You have a handbrake up and you're trying to drive a stick shift, you're going so slow. As soon as you drop the handbrake, poof, you take off. Right? So drop that handbrake and start working on yourself to getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright?